Next, we need some buttons. If we want to be able to input stuff to the processor, we need to have buttons to use as input. Your kit has these little guys in there. And notice the buttons kind of have claw-like pins. Make sure that you pay attention to the way the claws are going. What we're going to do is we're going to put the buttons with the claws kind of going up and down. We're going to put one into pins 2 or rows 2 and 4, or columns 2 and 4, I should say. And we're going to put another button in to columns 7 and 9, like that. The way the button works is when the button is open, there's no connection between these two sets of pins. So in this case, rows 7 and 9. And when the button's pushed, those two are connected. So we're going to just wire up those buttons. We're going to wire up one side of the button to ground, and we're going to wire the other side of the button to a digital pin. So let's do the button wiring. First, you can wire either side to ground. It doesn't really matter which side you do to ground, because the buttons don't really care. The buttons are the same on either side. I'm going to kind of feed this down through the resistors just to keep the wiring a little neat. This is maybe a little fancier than you need to get, but I like to keep my circuits neat, so I'm going to kind of try and really shimmy them in down there. Having a pair of tweezers sort of helps if you've got big fingers like mine. And then we're going to wire the buttons to the pins on the Arduino. Now the buttons that you have to wire to are the pins you have to wire to are pins 12 and 13. Again, I'm going to just kind of bring them under, keep the wiring mess down. 12 goes into the left button. Make sure you look closely so you get the right pin. I'm sorry, 12 goes into the right button, and then 13 goes into the left button. And 13 is the left pin, and 12 is the right pin, so that makes it easy to remember. Okay. So now our buttons are wired. I've tried to keep the wires a little bit out of the way of the buttons, because guess what? We're going to push those buttons. So let's test the buttons out. The same program that you used for the LEDs, you're going to use for everything. It tests every piece. So all we got to do is give power to the board. Now if we press the right button, the LEDs move to the right. And if we press the left button, the LEDs move to the left. Now, if one of your buttons doesn't work or the LEDs move in a continuous fashion, double check your button wiring. Make sure that you haven't put in the button sideways, and make sure that you're in the right pins, 12 and 13.